Yeah.
I got a Husqvarna, and my carburetor would be, one thing like it mess I could have, my choke up, the deal with I can, get the, how much y'all charge me would be better?
It's 85 an hour, man. So however long it takes me to diagnose it and fix it is how we charge.
Okay.
Yes, sir. It's like an hourly rate.
Alright guys, we're back at it again with another video. This time we got another 445 Rancher, but we're going to change the carburetor out on this one. I don't know what the guy was talking about earlier, and he just babbled on for a little while. Couldn't really tell me anything, but yeah, so anyway, I'm pointing out these 4 screws that you got to get out. It's going to be the first thing you're gonna do. They're going to be 4mm Allen wrench. Go ahead and warn you now, this entire job is done in a very small space, so it's going to be aggravating. You're going to be able to tell that I eventually get aggravated as well. But yeah, it's pretty aggravated. You got to take a lot of things loose. You got to take everything apart, but you got to take a lot of things loose. I sped it all up for you here, so you have to watch me take it all apart. There's a rod back there that connects to the throttle. Your trigger on your handle, and it's got a clip on the carburetor. You can pop it off, and it'll fall out of there. Uh, pretty tight, like I say. And you'll also disconnect your kill wire to the left of the carburetor. That rod that connects to your trigger is probably the most aggravating thing to get out. There's 2 little grommets, little rubber grommets, that you have to pry out of the way to get the black piece in front of the carburetor off. Yeah, see, I got aggravated. So I went ahead and loosened up the handle. If you loosen up this entire handle, it goes a lot easier. You just got to remember where that spring goes on your trigger, and where your trigger sits on the saw before you put it back together. But you do have to do this to remove that bottom bolt on the carburetor, the bottom right side. You also have a choke lever located on the left hand side of the carburetor, on the kind of lower end of it, and it can kind of be a booger to get off there as well. I'm going to show you here in just a minute what it looks like and where it goes. Alright, so getting the black piece out. And right now I think I'm trying to figure out how to get the plastic choke off without breaking it, because that's what it is. It's a choke lever. I mean, you can break them. I have tried to pop them off with a screwdriver before and snapped them in half. Speed it up a little bit. Alright, we got it off. And as you can see, I just showed you exactly where the blue piece detaches from your carburetor, and where it goes on the new one. You got to get the lines off afterwards as well. They'll take both lines off from the primer, and there is a pickup line at the bottom right hand of the carburetor, and then the return and the fuel sending line that goes to the primer on the left hand side. And basically now you're just working in reverse. The absolute hardest part of this is getting that rod back into the position you need it in on the right hand side. for your trigger. It becomes very, very tedious. Probably one of the most aggravating things you can do on the saw is change out the carburetor. Most everything else is pretty straightforward. And there is a small hole that one end of that rod goes in the housing of the handle. And it's got to go in there the right way or it's not going to work. So make sure you pay attention to the orientation when you take it out of what exactly it looks like and how it's going back in. And I'd say this is probably the second most aggravating part, is getting that piece back in there. If you have any questions, you can just ask me in the comments and I'll answer promptly. It was hard to get a good shot on this particular video because the workspace was so small, and I felt like if I zoomed in too much, then it was gonna take away from, uh, you know, the aspect of everything and where to be placing things. Some things you wouldn't be able to see me do if I zoomed in too much. But that's just about all. Once you get to this point, you just get your bolts back in, get your kill switch back on. Your choke should be already on from where you put the carburetor on. The rod should be in place by now. And all you got to do once you get the bolts and the kill switch back up is hook your lines up, which that should already be done too at this point. And once you complete that, you just tighten the handle back up. We're about done. I appreciate you guys watching, and just drop me a like and a follow, subscribe for more content like this. I'll be posting regularly, at least one video a week. I appreciate you watching.